Oh, hello everybody. This is Maurice Parker. Welcome back to the Maurice Parker channel. This was your news. Subscribe below for cool new content. Today on the Maurice Parker channel, it's been a while. I wanted to talk a little bit about the NFL free agency. So far they are doing the NFL Combine for the NFL 2025 season, and it is going pretty good so far. From the top candidates from Shedeur Sanders to Cam Ward to Abdul Carter. So far, all these great, wonderful athletes are doing what they need to do to become professionals in the next stage as they try to enter into the NFL. And just want to congratulate all those young men trying to pursue and make their dreams come reality. Talking to the NFL today, actually not, well, learning from the NFL, as we all have, is that today Geno Smith was officially traded to the Raiders for a third round pick. I had to give shout outs to the people who told me about that, as well as wanting to learn about more so about how the direction of those franchises is going to go. I know DK Metcalf has requested a trade from Seattle, as well as Tyler Lockett being released, which I found surprising because Tyler Lockett was a model consistency for Seattle. DK Metcalf requested a trade, and Smith getting traded to the Raiders is null and void for me for Seattle as far as they are concerned. Is that it looks like either a rebuild because now they definitely have to get a quarterback. They would have to draft a quarterback. And Jigma Smith, this is probably going to be his show now, unless DK Metcalf stays, because Seattle's in a situation where they might get a mid round pick where they didn't not make the playoffs, but still, it's shocking. I thought Geno Smith might stay, but it makes sense though for him, Geno Smith, to go to the Raiders because of the relationship he has with Pete Carroll. So it may not be a bad thing at the end of the day. As far as that is concerned, that's just really good. I wanted to just keep that a little bit going up. I know Miles Garrett requested a trade from the Cleveland Browns. I think it's well deserved, honestly, because Miles Garrett was playing with them to their ups and downs and staying there for 8 years. And at some point, you want to be able to go and progress. I know people say be loyalty to the fans, but even as fans have to understand this: if you're sacrificing your body, in regardless of the money, if you're sacrificing the body to go out there and you're trying to perform your very best day out there at the end of the day, and you feel like you're not progressing, at some point you're going to want to go somewhere to progress. I think that's the main thing in anything, whether it's work or relationships or anything in our daily lives. We want to progress, not regress. That is why I think the Miles Garrett trade is a very good. Miles Garrett requesting a trade is good for him. And I will go back to my Pittsburgh Steelers as we are still trying to figure out our quarterback situation. I personally think that we should go with Justin Fields. Sorry, Justin Fields. Because he's younger, there's more upside. We got to figure out what our quarterback situation is first. I would want to know that prior to the draft, or so that way we know what we're working with. We got to establish that. Now moving on to the NBA, I noticed that the Lakers, shout out to the NBA, the Los Angeles Lakers won 8 straight against the New York Knicks yesterday, but that was not the topic. I saw both sides of the story. If you did not know, LeBron James confronted Stephen A. Smith on some of the stuff he said about Bronny James, his son. And I know a lot of people feel as though they're critiquing Bronny James. And when you are a player, like LeBron, people are going to hate on you or be critical of you. And people have a right to be critical of you. People have a right to say what they feel, whether it is on YouTube or ESPN. But there is a point where I do feel like even athletes, not athletes, or sports journalists, and have to come to a point where we're not talking, because these are still men and women who should be respected at the end of the day. You could talk about somebody's game, and there's a way to go about it. LeBron confronted Stephen A. Smith about it and about how he felt, and I guess there's some things he might have said that he could not repeat on the air. Well, on ESPN, I'm pretty sure he's probably already talked about it on his show. I thought about this stance long and hard about what him he's probably about him and LeBron. On one hand, I could see Stephen A getting there to the point where he feels like, I'm just talking about his game, talking about your son's game. But I also understand LeBron as a parent and somebody who's confronting you about if you have a odd with somebody, you're supposed to go to them, and he talked to him man to man. It's not. I don't think you should have to go on ESPN. Just in my opinion, I don't think you should say on ESPN, "Hey, you got my number to call me." No, when you talk about somebody publicly and they see you face to face and they tell you how they feel, I think that should be just as much respected because um, had it been any other great player, if Jordan had a problem with him and he had talked to him about it, I don't think that it would have been perceived the same way. But again, circumstances are different with everybody. I just think that LeBron James had a right to tell him about maybe there's certain things you say about my son I don't appreciate that you're toting the line about. And yes, I know it is his job, and everybody has a job that they do and to do well. But there is a line out there you should cross when it comes to people. And when you're talking about somebody publicly all the time, I think I always tell myself this: if I'm going to talk about somebody's game, I'm always going to have to be cautious about how I talk about somebody, even on this platform, and what I do is because these are men and women. At the end of the day, you have to be respectful of who you talk about. His son is doing a wonderful job as far as I think in the G League right now. And he's trying to get back into the NBA, but you know, I think it's not fair for. I know LeBron might have said some things about his son. And of course, he's going to hype up his son. That's his son, and his son has shown some game. And I'm pretty sure there's some ways he did not play well. But hey, everybody adjusts at their own time. But I do think that I respect LeBron for a call, telling Stephen A. how he felt face to face about some of the stuff that he said. I don't think there's a point where I talk to you privately about something and you are going out here publicly about saying something. I think that that shouldn't be a down on any person, any parent is going to stand up for their kid if they feel like you're slighting them. I remember when Mrs. Durant stood up for Kevin Durant and she let it be known how she felt, and I just want to say I respected that because there's always a line that should not be crossed. When we talk about people, we should always talk about them with respect. I know people say keep the same energy, but that's hard to keep. Um, it's easy to talk about somebody when you're not in the same room with them, but it's hard to talk to them face to face. Very few people could do that, and I did want to just know as far as that is concerned. I see where both men are coming from, but I ultimately agree with LeBron a little bit more only because you're talking about his game. You may be taking some more shots about his son to more people. I know people, podcasters, and everybody might talk about him, but at the end of the day, there's just certain lines we shouldn't talk about people's kids. I think, especially, as far as that is concerned. Now that I got that attention out the way, I did want to go on to the next wonderful topic is that well, basically, we are entering this wonderful transition into March Madness, and I think it's gonna be wonderful to see. I think it's one of the best times for all of basketball to see all these teams. I know Selection Sunday was supposed to be next Sunday, and I was told, but next Sunday was Selection Sunday. I'm wonderful. I'm just glad to hear that. I want to see all these people complete because collegiate players trying to make it into the NBA, and I think that is wonderful as far as these collegiate players trying to make it to the NFL. I just want to say I'm rooting for all those men and women, men who are going to the NFL Combine and trying to do what they need to do to get there and trying to, be a professional. And I want to say whether you're the first round pick, last round pick, if you are, undrafted, you just work hard to get to the league. You should be respected for making it into the league. Go out there, perform your best. Don't really listen to none of the critics because people are going to say stuff. I would say only talk if you need to talk. Don't let nobody talk down on you. Um, just gonna get a little bit about it first. Don't let anybody talk down on you because you're young. And that is actually a biblical verse. I just don't know what particular passage, but I do know it's there. I would tell them to be focused, be prepared, be diligent. This is your moment to get ready for the combine. Do what y'all have to do. Collegiate and NFL, you just made you're trying to make it to the highest level. At the end of the day, you gotta be confident and do what got you there. You have to just be there, stand still, stand strong. Don't let skeptics decide. Because listen, you write your own story as an athlete. That is for you to decide ultimately we could look at what we see, but let's just be honest, we may not all see what you guys will put into the work every day that y'all might have had sweat in y'all work or y'all. We can only go by what we see on game day. And that's not telling the whole story about how practices is or how the meetings go. We may not know. We could say, "Oh, we report how we see," but sometimes that may not always be truthful. I want you guys to go out there to perform. Oh, thank you for the like. I appreciate that. I want you guys to go out there perform to the best of your abilities, the X's and O's. In the end of the day, I want the people preparing for the NFL to know that when they get done through this career, that they're going to do wonderful, continue to do outstanding. The first round for Shador Sanders, continue to do your strives, continue to be positive, uplifting, can work, continue to work on your game. Abdul Carter, continue to be a dominant pass rusher as you was in college. I would say for Graham and Michigan, continue to do what you got to do. Jenkins, I know you're not a running back. I'm trying to make sure that all you players know that when you get out there to the NFL, it's the next stage of the game. Now you're dealing with the fastest athletes, it's a little bit quicker, and once you make it to the league, just study the game, Lord. Whatever habits got you in there. And I know people look at the contrast and they got all this money. Don't be envious of any of these players. Everybody, you've earned it. I would say save it, be smart with it. Not everybody, learn to be smart with it because at the end of the day, if a contract doesn't sound right, it doesn't sound right. If you did leave, you deserve a raise. You should get a raise. If you're making such and such amount of money, I think you should try to get a little bit more if you can. I will only tell these athletes this, whether it's the NFL, NBA, all those, just honor your contract. I do understand at certain times people will request a trade. I think a trade, even if you have a contract, should only um be feasible if it's a situation can't be repaired. I think you do everything you can to make it work. If you believe that you have done everything you could, then you just gotta stand on it. Now that is what I have today on the show. Sorry, it was not just as much as any other time, but I just want to say thank you guys so much. As looking forward to seeing every one of you. I appreciate it. Have a wonderful day.